Mom is in Control, episode 303. Hey guys, welcome back. So you know who I am. I'm Heather Chauvin, and if you are new to the show, welcome. This is all about being a mother, being human, and living your best life. It's about feeling in control from the inside out. And for a lot of people, this is a foreign concept. My story goes back from my cancer journey 5 years ago. Previous to that, always just feeling like a black sheep. And what I mean by a black sheep is feeling like I wanted more. I didn't feel like I fit into the crowd. And it wasn't until I found my own crowd, my own tribe, my people, to really know that I was supposed to feel uncomfortable. I was supposed to feel different because my purpose in life was to be different, to make a difference. And when you are a trailblazing woman, when you are a trailblazing leader, it is very uncomfortable to live your life by other people's design. And when we're living our life but in other people's design and expectation of who we need to be, we get out of alignment. And when we're out of alignment, we feel this dis-ease in our life. And sometimes that manifests physically, physical disease, emotional disease, mental, spiritual, all of that fun stuff. So if you're listening to this and there's a part of your life where you're thinking, not this. I give a lot of tips and strategies away on this podcast. I also have some free challenges, so you can check out my Mom is in Control challenge. It's free, 100% free on my website. You can go to Heather Chauvin, last name spelled CHAUVIN.com. Check out that free challenge. That is a very strategic day-by-day action strategy for you when people are listening to me and they're like, but Heather, where do I start? That's a great place to start. But if you've been listening to me for a while and you're thinking, I don't know where to start, right? Maybe you've heard me talk about my mastery program, my coaching mastery program. Maybe you've heard me talk about the time and energy intensive coming up and you're just like, where do I fit in? I don't know where to jump. It's like, people are doing double dutch and you're kind of like, I don't know where to jump in. Then I invite you to just fill out a simple application at heatherchauvin.com/take back control. What I've done is I simplified it where I do have some other programs coming up. I'm actually going to be running an in-person 1-day kind of mastermind where you will fly into Windsor, Ontario. You can fly into Detroit, Michigan, and do a little hop, skip, and jump over the border. And I will be doing a 1-day deep dive with you where it will be as a group, but there's also other ways that I can support you as well. A lot of this information, doesn't suit everybody, right? You want to find what works for you. And the easiest way for me and my team to support you that way is just to simply fill out an application and you'll get on the phone with myself or somebody on my team and we will point you in the right direction. After you filled out your application, I personally read and respond. So I will see, if you have any additional questions for me or anything like that, and we will definitely get you the support that you're looking for, because there's nothing more annoying than knowing that you want help, but you're just not sure, like what program, what strategy is going to work for me? Is this in alignment? So I want to read your application. Head on over to heatherchauvin.com/take back control. All right, now let's dive in. So you may have been listening to my last few podcasts where I talked about this big transition that I'm in my life right now. And what am I doing? It's the end of the year, and I didn't really realize how, I don't want to call it chaotic, I don't want to call it crazy energy, but just how much energy is circling. People kind of get in this like fast-paced energy where the holidays are coming, so you're ramping up and the stress is getting a little bit higher. If you're in business, you might have some end of year goals that you're trying to reach, so you're pushing yourself a little bit more, and there's just a lot of chaos happening. So here I am over here being like, Heather, let's just calm down, right? Like, let's just be cool as a cucumber. So we decide to do this renovation on our home, and it started this month. And we're actually building a mother-in-law suite so that my mother can move in with us. And this is something that I'll probably share in deeper detail later on, of all of the healing that me and my mom had to do to get to this point where we can actually be in the same space together. And I've said to a lot of people, oh yeah, my mom's moving in and we're currently living with her. And they give me that look of like, are you okay? And to be honest, I am. But I will tell you this. Yesterday, I could barely walk. The right side of my body was almost paralyzed. So there's a lot of shame that comes up, especially when you teach this stuff, right? But we have to realize that we have to practice what we preach. We have to practice what we teach. And we also need to realize that we are human. So re-entering my mom's home, because we're living here temporarily for a few months while this renovation happens, all my shit came up, but it didn't come up mentally. I was like, I feel pretty good, but physically it was coming up. So I went to this massage therapist that I see, and he is an energy worker as well, because I'm huge into energy work. Love it, love it, love it. You know, you can call it woo-woo, you can call it whatever you want, but I love this shit. I love how, you know, there's things that we can't logically comprehend, right? We can comprehend a massage, right? It's like, oh, that feels good, but we can't comprehend the energy. And there's so much science behind it. And all I care about is, did I leave feeling better? And if I did, then yes, please give me more of that. So I went in and I'm like, this is my scenario. This is what is happening. And he's like, okay, cool. And he did a little bit of a massage and all of this other stuff that he was doing. And I left. He goes, how do you feel? And I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel about 90% better. I can move my neck today. It's still a little tender, but night and day. And I walked back in and my husband's like, what is wrong with you? You have all this energy. And we have to remember that we are energetic beings, right? We are energetic beings. And when we say no to our energy, when we say no to ourselves, when we neglect our bodies, when we neglect our minds, we get stagnant and stuck. So the old Heather that loves to suffer and loves to struggle, right? The old me would have said, no, I don't have time for a massage. I don't want to pay for it. Oh, like, you know, all of these things. Oh, that's a luxury. All of the BS that we tell ourselves. So I went, I did it, I felt great, and I'm going to go back every week for about the next month just to, you know, keep momentum, because we have to keep the momentum going in our lives. Just because you do something once doesn't mean that is going to create lasting results. So people will tell me, well, Heather, you know, I've been meditating for a while, or I've been journaling for a while, and then I just kind of get annoyed of it, so I stop. I'm like, but you're ready for the next level. So what I wanted to talk about today was this whole concept of mothering ourselves. And I did something, I wouldn't say weird or funny, the other day that was counterintuitive. My friend was asking me to join this hip hop class with her, this dance class. I've never danced in my life. Like, I've never been a dancer. I never did dance as a little girl. As a young child, I did gymnastics a little bit and I sucked at it. And the reason why they wanted me to be a contortionist. I am very, very flexible, where I can go into a bridge, and I can put my head through my legs. Now, if I kept doing that now as an adult, I'd probably loosen up and be able to do it again, but I'm still very, very flexible. And I actually have hypermobile joints. So I remember one time when I was a kid, I was doing gymnastics and I forgot my floor routine because I refused to study it. I didn't want to have that diligence and discipline. So I completely forgot and blanked out, and I was getting terrified, like while I was live doing my floor routine. So what I did was, I just stopped what I was doing and I started doing back bends and all my little contortionist moves. And people are like, oh, ooh, ew, gross. And then I got up after my song was done, and I just started crying and ran to my coach. And she's like, what happened? And I'm like, I blacked out. So needless to say, I was never an athlete in my life. And it's almost like I'm tapping into these spaces now and reinventing the wheel and reinventing like who I was as a child, because I never tapped into those things as a child. So now in hindsight, so she was bugging me. She's like, Heather, let's do this hip hop class together. And it was on Saturday at noon. And I thought, this is the worst time ever, right? My kids have activities on the weekend. I'm in the middle of a big move, complete chaos. So one of the things that I did, we started last week, I was like, I do not have time for this class. Like, this is what I was telling myself. I do not have time for this class. I do not have time for this class. I do not have time for this class. Well, guess what, guys? If you tell yourself this mantra, you do not have time for yourself or this class or doing something, you're always going to find an excuse to get out of it. So I went, and it was so much fun. Let me repeat this. I went, and it was so much fun. But leading up to this, I had so much resistance to actually following through and completing that task by taking action in alignment with what my soul was craving, which is fun. Being creative, being spontaneous, being in connection with other women, because this was just an adult class and it had 4 women in it, 3 of my friends. And we were just laughing and making fun of each other and making fun of ourselves. By no means am I going to have a dance competition at the end of this series. But the point is, it lit my soul on fire. And by lighting my soul on fire, that helps me to create the momentum to be in alignment with who I want to be. So whether it's a 60-minute dance class, whether it's a 60-minute yoga class, whether it is a 60-minute walk or a 10-minute walk, what is your soul craving? And I also want you to know that there's going to be resistance. Resistance is the discomfort, running towards the discomfort instead of running away from the discomfort. For so many years, just like that little girl who did gymnastics, I did not run towards the resistance. I thought practice is hard, therefore I'm not going to do it. Practice is uncomfortable, therefore I'm going to give up. Because I didn't have that person that said, Heather, you can do this. I believe in you. I didn't have that person that said, you got this. You are worthy of achieving this goal. So I gave up. I gave in. And then when my moment happened, I flopped. I blanked. I went black. So now as an adult, I have to recondition myself and become the person I most desire my children to be. How do I do that? I have to show up when it's uncomfortable. So in the midst of a move, trying to find my dog a temporary home. So he hasn't left us forever. It's just temporary. I had to drive him literally 2 hours across the county to find him the perfect home, which one he's very happy in. And I had to move all these boxes, help move the beds, get the kids situated, get them to their activities. And I had this freaking hip hop class on Saturday at noon. Worst possible time. And I went. I followed through. Now, did I follow through because I was trying to please my friend? Did I follow through why did I do it? Because I knew it wasn't about the hip hop class. It was about generating the energy of what I truly desire. And I cannot tell you how much better I'm trying to figure. I'm like, what am I trying to say? How much better I'm coping with this whole move because I'm in alignment with how I want to feel. Yes, my shit is kicking up. Yes, my body is out of alignment. But what am I doing? I'm making my physical health a priority. I'm making my emotional health a priority. I'm making my spiritual health a priority. And I'm also creating space for my husband to do the same. The other night I went to yoga with my 9-year-old. I'm doing date nights with every child. And I'm not doing this from a place of like, check, check, check. It's like, what am I feeling into? What are the kids needing from me? So I'm just taking my little tribe, my family, and I'm saying no to a lot. I'm saying no to friends besides, the hip hop class, but I'm saying no to the coffee dates. I'm saying no to a lot right now because I'm just trying to be laser focused on, we just made a huge shift. So now I need to get our energy back up into the momentum and to be in alignment. That's it, guys. It's that simple. Put something on your calendar, do it with somebody else so they will hold you accountable and follow through. And if you can't do it for the hip hop class, if you can't do it for the yoga, who cares? If your journey and lesson was just to actually show up to the class, then that's enough. If you need to show up to yoga and lay in Shavasana for 60 minutes, that is an accomplishment. That is a success. It's all about showing up and pushing through the discomfort. But it's not about hustling. It's not about burning yourself out. It's about alignment. So thank you guys so much for listening. Things are shifting here at Mama's in Control headquarters, aka my kid's bedroom. And yeah, a lot is happening in 2019, and I just want to be of service to as many women as possible. So if you identify as an ambitious woman who wants to make an impact in the world, but more importantly, you want to find alignment in your own body and in your own mind and in your own soul and your home, and to help your children do the same, then I want to talk to you. And if you don't talk to me personally right away, you'll be talking to somebody on my team. And if it's a good fit, then you and I will connect. So head on over to Heather Chauvin, last name spelled CHAUVIN.com /take back control. And the beauty of this is we are now in November. So if I talk to you before the end of the year, you're going to be gaining a lot of additional bonuses, because when 2019 rolls around, my prices are going to increase. Things are going to change. So just know I'm a huge fan of, I always say the early bird catches the worm, but we have amazing bonuses for you, whether, you're jumping into a coaching program with me or whether you're doing a one-day intensive. I don't care. I just want to hear your dreams and your desires, and I want to know if I can be of service to you. So head on over to heatherchauvin.com /take back control, fill out the application, and we'll talk soon.